This WebTech video is to explain how the new version of WebTech is going to help you with the time cards. We originally had a grid on this main screen. Mike White, thank you. I'm logged in as you. I hope you don't mind because you have calls dispatched to you, and it's a good example. We used to have a grid that was located down the bottom of this screen that was going to be the time card. The more we looked at it and the more we tried to make it work, the less it was working. And so we decided to change directions and go to a web-based time card. So I'm going to explain how that works as best I can. This link right here brings you to the operations login. This is the same page where you log in to see your dispatched calls. It's also the same page where you log in to see the truck reorder application. And so this is the same thing we used to use for printed tickets. So you can still view your printed tickets for the current day, or excuse me, you can still view dispatch tickets for the current day as well as the following day. And you have the truck reorder. Over here you have the time card link. And what you're going to do is click on this link. And it's not formatted real cleanly yet, but what this shows is time that's been submitted and approved, and not only that, but billed and posted into the system. And that's important, and I'll get into that detail in a second. You select the week ending date. In this case, it defaulted to this week's ending date, which is the 24th, tomorrow. Right now, the current week's total is 32.5. Again, that's not what necessarily has been submitted, but it's what's been processed through the system. So I'm going to give an example of that. Friday, you can see Mike worked these jobs, and the total hours here, 13.5. You can see the description of the pay. This is regular pay and not invoiced. Don't let that confuse you. These are payroll hours that we're tracking here. Your hours are being invoiced through a separate pay code. So don't let that confuse you. This is all billable time. You have the service call ID. We are working on getting the appointment number in there, as well as we got the date. When you go over to the Friday link and click it, it opens a window that indicates what you've submitted and whether or not it's been approved yet. And the reason for that is because as you go through the course of your week, you want to make sure that the things you're being submitted are being caught and approved. Now, let's take, for example, Mike here on this particular day. If he was to have put in an hour of earn time, which obviously with a 13.5-hour day he wouldn't do, but let's just say he put in for an hour of earn time and he doesn't see it approved here, he can at least go over and click and say, geez, I thought I submitted that. Oh, yeah, I did. And it would show up here. And it would indicate, it would be a line item, and it would say, if it hadn't been approved yet, it would say 0. If it's been approved, it would be indicated here. Now, once time is submitted by Mike or any technician and approved by a field manager, it'll display in this window. However, there is a short delay between the time it gets approved and the time that an administrative person in the office posts it so that it appears in this history table. That probably is a bit confusing, but just think of it as this. When you first post something, it has to go through several stages of being processed. These are financial and accounting things that I don't fully understand. What I do understand is the information flow. This is where it finally lands. And so this page itself is what you will be paid on. It is your time card. So what we hope here, and what we're going to work with the managers to work with you guys, is that we want you to be aware of your time. Be on top of your timesheet. If you see something missing, you should communicate with the manager about it. Now, here's a great example. Wednesday, nothing's showing yet, but I know it's the end. It's nearing the end of the day now. Mike, I know, is working today. I click on Wednesday, and I can say, okay, I submitted time, and now I'm confused because this is saying 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., 4 hours. That has been approved. And as you'll notice here, it's not yet showing. Okay? that's because it's in limbo and hasn't been processed through to invoicing. But Mike can be comfortable knowing that this particular submission, he did put it in and it was approved by his manager. In this case, he's got one 8:30 to 8 to 1:30. That has not yet been approved, but at least he has a peace of mind. Okay, I know I submitted it. I'm doing okay. Tomorrow, if he notices that that doesn't pop up, he might want to give Marty a call and say, geez, I submitted the time. And so at the end of the week, there's your time right there. You can go back to the prior week. Pick the 17th, and now you can go back and say, okay, here's what this is what processed through for the prior week. So I know some people want to go back and be able to see what they did. I'm going to probably post another video. I want to keep these short. Please feel free to ask questions. Thank you.